everybody, how are you doing today? I'm Cinnamon Cooney. I'm your art Sherpa, and oh, my ambient noise is loud, baby. On the mic, controlling my mic, is my sweet and adorable husband, John. He's a Sherpa tracker. He follows me around from our cameras. We have 4 cameras today. We have a palette camera and this camera and an up-close camera. That way we can share with you every part of how this painting is constructed, so you can construct it at home. If you're here for the live, you already kind of know what's up. If you're here for the replay, this is a live directed painting, which means the viewers have decided what I'm going to paint. We had a post on the Facebook page and people gave their suggestions. I looked at what resonated, and then I made also a personal heart party decision because we're celebrating some stuff with one of our members. And so we've got a really fun painting that you guys have helped decide what we're doing today. Isn't that kind of exciting, John?
It is.
Yeah. Now, some of you guys had some suggestions that might not make it in the painting today, but were popular, so now are on the calendar. So expect Colorful Cow, and Alice in Wonderland is on the 5th. So if you guys had voted for those things or suggested the thing and were waiting for those things, I heard you. And whenever we have a vote is we're selecting what we're doing. If something is really popular but isn't going to make that lesson, we're definitely going to drop it in a future lesson. And I think what I'm going to do for the Alice in Wonderland is going to blow y'all's mind. But today we're doing abstract. Not abstracted, but full abstract. Do you know what the difference between those two things are?
Maybe.
Maybe. And if you don't at home, don't worry about it because I'm going to make it fun, easy, and explain it.
Can I guess?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would love it if you guessed.
Okay, so abstracted is where you take something and you take it apart a little bit so that it's not quite the same, but you can still kind of tell what it is. And completely abstract means that you would say, this is a car, but it looks like a tree, kind of.
No, it wouldn't look like anything.
Well, yeah, but it could look, yeah.
You would paint forms and shapes and everything and then call it tree. I'm not making fun of abstract artists. I really admire them.
It's the emotional.
It's the emotional. You're painting the emotion. You're painting the experience.
Yeah.
You're painting concepts that don't exist as easily in the physical world. So instead of painting the table, you paint what the table means to everyone. Oh, I know it sounds complicated, but it's actually really fun and easy.
Yeah.
You're like, easy? No, we're going to make this easy. So if you've never abstracted before, if you thought you'd like to try to do it, if you tried to do it and you got a hot mess and you're like, man, I don't know if I can do this. I wonder how many people have tried to paint an abstract because they thought, well, that's got to be easy, and then got a hot, muddy mess.
So Mocut says that all of her paintings are abstracted.
Me too.
So Beverly was asking, what's deconstructed?
Well, it's the same thing as it is in food. It's where you break things down into their parts.
So it's a yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, about.com is a fabulous resource if you ever want to just get a direct, not overinflated explanation of any art term. Believe it or not, they have a whole dictionary of stuff. And the people that write for them, this is not a sponsored video, I'm just saying, the people that write for them, kind of do it in a direct way, and I have come to appreciate that. Because, you know, like on Wikipedia, anybody can contribute. So it's sort of community created, but on About, they vet those people. And I have liked what I've read there. I've been like, wow, that's surprisingly good.
Did you know we have 2 little brushes painting with us today?
Oh my gosh, you guys are going to have so much fun. It's going to be great. And make sure that whoever you're painting with keeps it fun. Because you guys know to keep it fun. Who's painting with us today, the little brushes?
Oh my gosh, it's scrolling by so fast. I'm having a hard time keeping up, but I see a wish that just scrolled by.
All right, we got to do wishes. Before we get started, we're going to do wishes on the canvas. What happened to my canvas? We're going to do wishes on the canvas. Wishes are where we put words, intentions, things we hope for in the canvas. They can be super serious or they can be very lighthearted. And we always like to take a couple from our community and put them in. If you're at home, I really encourage you to do this. But be sure you use like a watercolor pencil or a very soft colored chalk so it disappears into the paint and it doesn't impact your painting. If you have to write a very serious wish that you need to be permanent, write it on the back of your stretchers.
Yeah.
Because, you know, art is nothing but intention. Are you ready? Got some wishes for me, Mr. Cooney?
So I saw. I'm just going. There's a lot of people chatting out here today. It's a very chatty room.
Chatty rooms.
It's
good. Chat up.
Yeah, they're chatting. They're chatting like a room 2 or 3 times their size. We got like about 108 people out here.
Woohoo!
And like, man, it's just. Cruising.
I think we didn't get as many. I don't think people understood what today's lesson was about because the thumbnail was so confusing.
Oh, they're still coming in.
Are they still coming in?
Yeah, they're still coming in.
Okay, I was worried like anyone was going to get the idea of it. I think this is actually going to be one of those crazy lessons that's the most life-changing. So let's get a wish in there so the people who are coming on the replay are not like, what is this?
So Valerie, she says she has a wish for energy, motivation, and no pain. And I'm with that.
Yeah, you are. And no pain.
And I'm with Natalie and down with the 9 to 5 boring work hours. You know, find your liberation in self-employment.
Yeah. Like that. Give me one more, John, and then we'll get started.
And let's see here. We have a wish for for a neighbor who has crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
Aw.
And is now and that's for Jennifer's neighbor.
Oh, well, I hope.
She had a battle that she was working on, but is in a better place now.
Well, we just definitely know she's happy and well now. We hope the people that are behind, that she's left behind, are okay and doing really well.
Yeah, we wish for healing for all those people.
We're going to start this painting out today. I've got all my paint colors out, but one of the tricks to an abstract, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to teach y'all to be great abstract painters because it's actually not easy to do abstract if you don't know how, but once you know how, it's like you've opened up a new horizon in art. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a solid color. Sometimes this is called an acrylic ground, but we're not going to overwash it on the painting. A lot of people overthin their acrylic grounds, and it does this thing called underbinding. The underbinding, which basically means the paint doesn't stick to the canvas.
And while you're grabbing that out, I just want
This is just yellow oxide. So we're going to just definitely get this on here.
You grab your close-up camera and pull that up just a little bit.
And this is just going to be, it doesn't have to be a perfect coat of paint at all, guys. It is going to be a thin, not thick, but not overly watered down coat of paint just to cover up the white of this canvas. Could you tint your gesso and do this? You absolutely could. But when you're painting very expressively, if you give yourself a ground, a colored ground, it gives it a more professional and finished look. You got to be really kind of the mad master to leave white on the canvas. Believe it or not, the more white you leave, the better you got to be at your painting. Strange truth that is. So I'm wondering what people think about abstract art in our community today. Like, what's the feeling?
Oh, well, they're loving the yellow.
Well, who doesn't like it? You love this yellow.
I do.
This is John's, favorite yellow right now.
Is yellow oxide the same as yellow ochre?
Yes, they are the same.
They are the same.
They are the same. I'm not messing with you when I keep changing up. You're like, she says different names, but it looks like the same color. It is. Some tubes of paint will call it yellow ochre. Some tubes of paint will call it yellow oxide. It is one of the original colors of mankind. It's one of the first things we ever painted with. Burnt sienna, burnt umber, yellow oxide, and of course, carbon black. So these are like Golden has the historic colors. These are the true historic colors. These are the OG of the palette, hey? They really are. I hadn't thought of that, but they are. They're our OG. I've so appreciated everybody this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's been so great. Just, you don't know how much I appreciate you guys. You are the most loving, helpful, incredible, creative community ever on the planet. I hope you're feeling really brave today. I'd love to know what your experiences in painting abstract are.
I'm just chatting with them right now. So.
I love that you chat with them. John always chats with you in the live chats. If you're coming on the replay, what's happening is we're broadcasting live, and a community of people come and chat in real time and talk to each other. It's really nice. It's really friendly. So if you can make it, it can be really wonderful to meet the other people who are on the art journey with you.
Now, you said that this one, the color palette on this was inspired by Sarah's.
She posted up a picture that really resonated with people. So I thought I'd use that color palette. So we're going to be using either an aqua or Southern Ocean blue. I'll do exchanges and stuff like that. We'll talk about that. And we're going to make this really beautiful spring piece. And we're in the mood for spring piece, I think.
So, Kim Sim, somehow the topic of Barbies came up in the thread here, and I think it was Kim Sim was like, "Ooh, a Sherpa Barbie."
Oh, they don't make Barbies in my size.
Everybody can have a 12-inch doll.
Everybody should have one of those. I definitely could handle a bobblehead. Speaking of dolls, when you're done here, if you can go check out my Made by Mommy Craft Challenge. Sherpa had a real adventure. You're going to see me like start a craft, change my mind, start another craft, change my mind. It really, really challenged me this time, and it was a lot of fun. And I hope you guys like what I made. We can say she's the Sherpa doll.
Oh, yeah.
I can't show you to her now because her head's deflated. She had a big head, but then it went away. That was a really temporary piece of art right there.
So we have a viewer requested question here.
Okay.
It says all I have to do is draw a curvy line. It says all I have to do to draw a curvy line is to draw a straight line.
Okay.
All I have to do to draw a curvy line is to draw.
So
a
what
straight
she's saying is that she's struggling to set her shoulder and her body and get straight lines. So that's really all it is you're struggling to set your shoulder. There's a brain-body connection.
I think she was trying to make a joke that you would get, that you would understand where that reference came from.
I don't. Now I feel silly. I don't. Now I feel silly. I'm like all answering it seriously, like, oh no, this is all I have. Your body positioning is wrong.
I think she was asking if you knew an inside joke to that. I was like, I didn't recognize it either. So.
Oh man, sorry.
Oh, there's a new curvy Barbie apparently.
Oh, yay. This is about time. I felt so underrepresented in the Barbie community. No red-headed hat-wearing painting Barbies carrying a little junk in the trunk.
There's an astronaut Barbie though.
Well, how few people are going to be that? I mean, I love that. Yeah, it's good, but
because there's a lot of Sherpas out there too.
There's actually less Sherpa than astronaut.
That's true. You're pretty one of the kind, though.
But I tell you what, you stick me on Mars, I'm going to die in that habitat.
Yep.
Die right away. But I'll do it peacefully and in a centered way, and I'll make some art before I go to leave behind me. I'll make a little arrangement in the dirt and then die peacefully. Grow a bunch of potatoes. That would not happen. I'm going to try this canvas.
Okay.
John's going to goof with you while I do it.
All right.
Can I give them some drying tips?
Yes, please.
So when you're drying with a hair dryer, you want to hold this kind of back and move it around. I like to keep it about 6 inches back. Don't get it up too close. If you're doing this with little brushes, sometimes they just want to do that. Sometimes mom wants to do that too. You want to get back here and kind of move it around. If you run a really high heat, acrylic paint is really impacted by temperature.
Mm-hmm.
So if you run a really high heat and you're painting a craft paint, it can really darken your paint. Just a little tip. I'm going to dry this up now.
Okay, you do that. I'm going to turn you down for just a minute. Oh, you're not. Oh, there you are. So while she's doing that, yeah, thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us today. I see we have there's 150 people out here in the room right now. So thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. And Cinnamon and I especially love to see all of the pictures you guys do. So please, please, please post those up there on Facebook and Twitter and link them up there so we can see that all the work that you do. I really love to see it. And thanks for coming and hanging out with us today, guys. You know, it's Saturday afternoon, so appreciate that you're here to come paint with us. And I just really appreciate it. So, yeah, thanks. Hopefully she'll come back and save me from, stumbling and just rambling on about completely nothing so I can fill this dead air space. Yeah, it's just that I'm that desperate just to talk here. Cinnamon, please come back. I'm all alone. Please. Help. Yeah, so you guys, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate it all. So, yeah. Who's painting? Oh, Cinnamon, there she is.
Hey. It always panics you when you talk to Malone.
You left me there for about a minute too long.
A minute too long?
Yeah, I had enough to say, but then that last, I was
running out.
Uh-huh.
So I just want to show you the streakiness of the paint, that this isn't necessarily orderly, and also that the ochre, even on this very pro paint, is slightly translucent.
Oh, that's right. I should have told a joke. Everyone was like, tell a joke. I was like, I have a joke saved up, but...
please tell me it's not one Honey taught you.
It is, but
oh,
good.
no.
No, they're great. They're all knock-knock jokes, but I'm saving them.
We're in the knock-knock developmental phase with all the children. I mean, I'm just working, and they're like, knock-knock. Like, who's there? Dead child. just making me crazy.
It is.
They
All right.
sneak up on me, my kids, because I scream and you know how like some people just like lose their mind when they're startled. I'm one of those, and all the kids go through the stage where they find it really funny to almost give mom a total heart attack. So right now, my middle one, Spider, he likes to hide in things and then hop out.
Yeah, he does.
I'm just thinking I got to take better care of my heart if he's going to keep doing this. Abstracts.
Okay, abstract.
So we have this colored ground. What's an abstract? An abstract, fundamentally, great abstract is about design. It is about color. It is about positive and negative space. And when you master those things, you can create a great abstract. But if you don't have a mastery of those things or an understanding where to go, what tends to happen is just a bunch of brushstrokes going everywhere. And you don't have any structure or form to the painting. And even when things appear to be completely unstructured, generally there's a plan or an indication or an intentional idea behind it. So today I'm going to show you one of the great foundational methods of creating abstract. So we've given ourselves a ground so we can be expressive but not have a lot of white canvas showing through. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to divide this canvas into thirds. And we're going to do something called working in the rule of thirds.
Now, did you painted the edges of your canvas?
No, but you could. And the other thing I would say on a big abstract, do a gallery wrap with wide stretchers and do it big. The bigger you go with abstract, the more substantial it is.
But for us, we just use these canvases. For
Yeah,
the show.
just this is cheap at Michael's, and you can do this and put it in a frame. Your friends will still be impressed. So I'm going to just by eye. This isn't. You can be very scientific if you're a very specifically scientific person. Definitely, measure it out exactly. But I'm going to just divide my canvas into thirds with my chalk.
Jane says, paint the sides. Definitely paint the sides. Don't listen to the Sherpa.
Just go ahead. Yeah, it's totally fine. It saves you framing. So once I've done that, see where these lines intersect?
Yes.
These are action points. These are focal points. When you put focuses in these spaces, you create drama within the piece. Even if you're not being objective, you can actually do this on your representational or figurative pieces as well. But this is really important on the abstract. And you definitely want to have gesture and motion and energy in the piece. So even though I'm not going to draw something, I'm going to do some interesting sketching. I'm going to say over here in the lower right corner, I'm going to make a little mark halfway in this space. And I'm going to curve it up like this.
Yeah.
See this little curve? This tells me what I'm saying to myself, right, is that I want something interesting here. I want to put my focal of interest along here. These will be my brighter colors. This will be my more interesting brushstroke. Is going to happen along here. This space here, I'm going to let be more restful. And the drama between this energetic space and this restful space is going to make my abstract stronger.
Now, are you using
Kids'
the
chalk.
golden ratio here?
No, I'm not using the golden ratio. I'm using
Okay.
rule of thirds. You
Rule of
could
thirds.
use that, and we'll cover that in another one.
Okay.
That would be another thing that you could do. You could use the golden ratio in your abstract. And when you find abstract artists, they're actually not artists that can't draw. They're artists who have a passion for design. They have a passion for form. They have a passion for color. They have a passion for other skills in art, and drawing just didn't really do it for them. So that's what they did.
Now, Bonnie was asking here, you're using the rule of thirds here for this painting, but that's just the approach you're taking. You could use different approaches, yeah?
Yeah, you could. This is just one, like most people just have like just all over the canvas kind of abstracts. And I'm kind of just giving you a way. How could I make an abstract that is very strong and is really emotionally, gets into people? This is just a really good technique.
So it's like a tool that you could use to better,
Yeah,
to easily make a good painting.
right.
Okay.
Now I'm putting out, I think I'm going to put out, I've got Hooker's Green here. Not kidding, that's what it is. I've got Burnt Umber. I've got Southern Ocean Blue and Australian Sienna. But listen, you guys could get into an aqua, or you could make this with the phthalo blue, your yellow, and your white.
Okay.
I'm just showing you these colors based on the piece that won. And of course, I'm going to do this entire painting with Goldilocks today.
Oh, yeah. And Goldilocks is...
The brush I stole from my mother.
Oh.
No, she banned it.
Great.
She banned it.
It's the number 10 Simply Simmons.
It's a number 10 Simply Simmons Firm Filament, which was in stock at Jerry's Online, but you guys bought them all.
I think it's awesome, and that I just want you guys to continue to clean them out because I think it's so cool.
So I'm going to take a little of this green and my burnt umber, and I'm going to come here, and I'm very lightly... Let me get this on the up-close cam because I don't think the up-close cam are seeing it. I'm going to create some weight here. I'm just a light brush stroke. I'm letting it be translucent on the canvas. I'm letting the ochre shine through. I'll pull into my green more as I'm going.
So
this is a great time to practice some of those techniques that make paintings great.
now, just in case they don't have Australian sienna, what was the combination there?
So I'll just show that really quick,
Yeah.
because I can use this somewhere else in the
that'd be
painting.
great.
I'm going to put out some phthalo. Now it's in the painting. It's happening now.
All right.
Once I put the paint out, it's happening now. So that these paints are now in our painting. All right, so if I were to do that and white, and I will mix that when we get into the area where we're going to get into that color
Okay, cool.
as well. I'll show both.
All right, great. That'll help, I think.
You know, and we're going to just, I've got this green here, and I'm just, pulling it up because I want this sort of space. And the thing about an abstract is that it's almost like an act of having faith because you're not clinging to anything. I'm going to just show how to mix this real quick. I'm going to pull out some phthalo blue and some cad yellow and some white. And you can see right away that gives you a lovely, 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 lovely turquoise.
And you like that color so much, you like just having a tube of it.
Well, Southern Ocean Blue is a little unique to this, right? But it's going to be harder to get it, so I don't know how long I'm even going to talk about it because I don't know how long they're going to be shipping globally. I'm not sure what's up with that. And also because it can be hard for people to get colors.
Yeah.
I think one of my big things I want to do in 2016 is get with paint reps and get familiar with colors and paints globally.
Yeah.
So I can expand. Look at how beautiful this is starting to be.
That's looking really nice.
Now I'm feeling like that's a little thin, so I'm going to come back here and I might grab a little white and kind of dust that into here because I'm just not feeling that. And I want a softer brown back here. I just do. It's just where I'm at. So that's just another little layer. Look for spaces where you're like, okay, I just, I want that. I'm going to wipe off my brush and get back into my... And then I'll show you guys the color it is when we're... there's a little yellow in there. So I'm trying to create this soft space. My brush is helping me. This brush really does help me. Makes me work less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get more and more white as I go.
Yep.
And I'm just working this space here. I know I've got this here. And I might even sketch this just so I know where it stays. Now, if I were to do this in Southern Ocean Blue and Australian Sienna, you can kind of see the color. And it's just a little different when you're working with it, is all that it is. It's just a little different. So if you have that at home, you can use these two and your white. And if you don't, you can use your phthalo, yellow, and white. Is everyone feeling comfortable and confident with those two options?
I think they are. There's, Lisa showed up a little bit late, so everyone was just going, hey.
Hi, Lisa.
So She's
So I just did the phthalo and cad and white there.
you know, adjust your close-up camera.
Yeah, I'll adjust the close-up camera so you guys can see this work. All right, now just doing the Australian Sienna, but you can do your other mixture. I'm going to get a lot of white on this brush. This mixture is a little yellow dominant, so it's a little dominant to the cad yellow or to the Australian Sienna, whichever your mixture is. Boy, you guys have, I feel bad like someone new wandering in here because a lot of you guys have been with me so long, you can like handle like yellow dominant and all these like terms. You're like, oh yeah, I totally know what that means. And it's amazing how you can start out from going to a sip and paint, you know, or getting back into painting or taking it up, you know, out of the blue, and then be in such a short order going, yeah, it's a yellow dominant mix. It's awesome.
We're going to send a little wish of wellness out there to Jane. She's feeling a little under the weather today.
Oh, yes. Definitely wish Jane feels better.
So she's one of our moderators, taking care of all of you guys out there, keeping our Sherpettes in line, making sure they know where to keep their paints and brushes. Thank you guys, all the moderators. I really appreciate it. You guys make sure I know where their questions are at and help answer all the other questions. Really appreciate it.
Does anyone, I really appreciate just everything that they just do. They just do this everywhere. It's not even just in our community. The just genuine positive energy that's brought into the art sector is amazing. So we have this nice sort of blended thing. I'm showing you this because all the pictures that you liked had these very blended. What's the trick to this? Well, you can.
What is the trick to this? I don't know how to paint.
The stiff brush.
You're asking the wrong. I can push a button. See, watch. Look. See, I can get closer or farther away.
Oh, he's a handful. So I'm working very quickly, so my paint is wet. I get a good blend there. So that's about the drying time of the paint. I'm working a very buttery paint, so it's smooth and it tends to want to blend. I'm painting with this great brush. And I'm sorry I've just gotten so into this brush, but, you know, I mean, dude, thank you, Mom, for brush abandonment. Just like, I'm very excited about it. And I got a call from her today about, like, when am I getting my brush back? I was like, I don't know. I don't know that you do get your brush back. It'd be nice to say someday, but it might not be. So I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to add just a touch. This would be like very blue dominant here and then a lot of white. And I'm going to just keep working now above this. So you can kind of see the phthalo has taken over this mixture.
Ooh.
Yes.
Do you have any helpful hints for left-handed people?
Yes. Don't listen to right-handed people telling you how to paint.
Oh, that's a good suggestion.
It's really a good suggestion. Some left-handed artists shared with me things that help them are sometimes when I'm saying that my strength is to go down across my shoulder like this, right? If that's the direction, it might be stronger for you to come up.
Or just mirror that.
Yeah, so it's not the opposite. It's like I might go down across my body. You might want to go up across your body. So if you're observing a painting doing the right, left down, you might want to do the left, right, up. Right? And it's really about, I mean, the thing is like right-handed artists don't just have an easier time in art. There's just more of us, so we have more talking to each other that we do. But I mean, we just invented all this stuff, and that's what every artist does essentially is invent what they're doing. So the biggest thing I think for left-handed artists is to overcome all the weird nonsense. Just again and again and again and again. I've heard this from people who've been through that. The strange crazy that got kind of dumped on them in school.
Now, have you had a hard time finding left-handed paint?
John, you're such a problem. So I haven't even like done this in a while. Let me see what this would be like for me to do with my left hand. Now this is harder for me because I don't have as much control over it, right? But I mean, really honestly, it's still the same sort of stroke here. I'm just not as strong and confident in that hand. But it's not like the painting suddenly became a completely different animal.
So, Now,
Look at the hot mess I made of my white trying to do that.
so
I'm getting very light into my white at the top of my canvas here.
now Bassett.
So there's a lot of range of color.
I have a question here from Bassett.
Uh-huh.
I think that's right. Having trouble keeping paint out of the ferrule, and she's using power acryls, so enjoying those.
Okay, so when I load my brush,
Yep.
there's the load. Very at the tip. Lindsay was just talking about this. Painters that paint a lot try to not let the paint go past the halfway point. If it starts to, we start to rinse out our brush and squeeze it out.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a good suggestion.
Well, it just happens to everybody. So suggestions can be had. Now, because this brush has a very stiff or firm filament, it's not soft, right? It will allow me to do a soft edge, even though my paint is dry.
Mm-hmm.
You can get into things that slow down the drying time of your paint.
Mm-hmm.
I generally am not constantly recommending those products because I haven't found one I'm impressed with.
Mm.
That's all it is. If I find one that like blows my mind, I'll talk about it. It's like this brush. If I like it, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
If I find something better than something else, I'm going to talk about it. Because that'll happen. You're not going to be in the same products your entire life. Can you kind of see how this has got some shape and form? Now, as I'm coming here, I'm going to add a little yellow into my paint. And I'm adding a little yellow. I'm making these decisions as I go. I don't have an off-camera reference photo. Do they know that?
I don't think that they do.
I'm just painting this with you guys and telling you as I do it. How exciting is that? It could go terrible.
So
you could spend 2 hours with me and be like, that is awful. What on earth? Never do that segment again. What are you thinking?
Oh,
so I haven't rinsed out my brush, so a little of the blue and other color is picking up into it. And you can see that the oxide is keeping the paint where it's thin from being a thing. What were you saying, John?
Oh, I was just saying Trent saw your Made by Mommy challenge and loved it.
Oh, thank you. I really think this is a great collaboration that she's got going there. And I'm so glad to be a part of it, actually. I like the heart and intent of that project a lot. And also I like to see what the other people are doing.
Oh, yeah.
There was like one guy in there, and I wish I could remember his channel off the top of my head. I should iCarded it in. But he's in there. Oh, Woodworking with Tim.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like a serious super woodworker, man. It's not like light woodworking. It's like woodworking, manly woodworking. And he's there with the craft box pulling things out, and his wife is like, it's a that. It's one of those. No, it was just fantastic. And he did a cool thing. I thought that was genius. You know what I mean? And I just admired that he was as cool and brave as he was. And there's another lady, she specializes in origami. She did a really cool ornament. You know, I like watching other YouTubers. I like finding interesting new people to watch.
Yeah, now Timothy, there's Timothy and his wife paint along with us.
No, that's a
different woodworking.
different. Yeah, we have this really cool channel. They have paint off challenges. He's a woodworker as well. That's why it threw John, because John is really into his show. And they do paint offs, and then they have prizes that they win.
I bought a bowl from him.
He bought a bowl from him today.
I did.
This is pretty cool. I should iCard. I'm gonna iCard all these people in the thing. Well, I did iCard one channel in the thing. Info card. If you guys don't know what the info card, it's that little eye that floats up in the corner. The eye. And if you click it, sometimes I hide other stuff for you to do. I put Doodle Date in there.
Did you? Oh.
I did.
Yeah, they're a funny couple.
I've started watching them. They don't know me. We've never chatted or anything. But I started watching them because it kind of reminds me of John and I when we were young. And they do this thing where they go on a date and they doodle, which I totally approve of. I'm like, forget speed dating. I want a doodle date.
Yeah.
So can we kind of see how now there's this action and event happening in the piece? I'm going to get clean water because I'm going to get crazy up in here now.
Let's see here. I'm going to scroll back up here. We had some interesting comments. I'm just trying to catch them all. Things are scrolling by so fast. We got there's over 180 people out here.
Hi! Are you like losing your minds right now? trust me, there'll be a beautiful painting at the end of this. And if you follow along, you'll have a beautiful painting. And if you do rule of thirds, you'll be able to paint abstract better. So thank you for coming today.
Yeah. And I apologize, guys, if I'm missing some of the comments. There's a lot happening here today. So
I'm going to put out some cadmium red, medium. Somebody the other day asked what the CP means on the golden tubes. That's just cadmium pigment. Golden likes to tell you that they do it better than everybody else. And that's one of the ways that they do it.
And
they'll be like,
kinda,
it's real cadmium pigment. If you were to eat this, instantly dead. I don't know that's true. I'm not actually saying that scientifically. Sometimes I joke. But don't eat paint.
Don't eat paint.
Don't ever eat paint.
No, there's just no need.
I'm going to put out some cadmium orange.
Especially don't eat any paint that says cadmium.
Though this one's nice enough to actually just own it. They say poison, keep out of reach of children. It's really the parents are much more likely to stick the paintbrush in their coffee cup. But okay, let's warn for the kids. I haven't really ever seen. Kids seem to be smart enough not to eat the paint. And they always seem so offended when I'm like, don't eat the paint. They're like, what? I've gotten over that since glue. I don't even know why you're bugging me. I'm going to put out the quinacridone, John's Passamaquoddy color.
I can't say it. It's Passamaquoddy pink.
Quinacridone magenta. Any of the quins will work. So, colors at home. What could you do? If you don't have these colors, you could do a bright orangey red, a very bright orange, and a kind of fuchsia pink. Because this is abstract. And we didn't do a handout sheet, and I'm not going to come into your house and be like, you didn't use the colors I said. Would that be weird?
Trent says we need a shirt that says don't eat paint.
I do need a shirt that says don't eat. Obviously, my mom needs a shirt that says don't eat paint.
With a picture of a cupcake on it.
Picture of a cupcake on it.
With some paint on there.
I don't care if the paint is on a cupcake. Mom, don't eat it. Ginger Cook Live is my mom's YouTube show. So you guys will be like, you're talking about your mom. Does she have a YouTube show? Yes, she does.
So we can openly mock her.
Yeah. I have permission.
I have to adjust that camera because when you dip on the bottom of the water, it goes boom, boom, boom on the table.
Oh, really?
The camera just dumps. Yeah. Hashtag don't eat paint.
Hashtag don't eat paint. Thank you. So I've got this interesting shape here, and this is a good time to examine your piece. If you remember in your head, where was your focal point? Your main high focal point is here, and then you had another opportunity over here, right? And then we've decided to let this space in the canvas be somewhat restful. So the piece that you guys liked had a lot of these spring colors in it, and I'm just going to mix some spring colors. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow and my quin, and I'm going to put out white because I'm clearly now suddenly out of it.
So while you're doing that, Basti, and I believe it's Basti, that's how you pronounce it, was asking about the brush pressure, and does that affect the paint getting up into the ferrule?
Yes. Yeah, brush pressure affects every aspect of your painting. Like, we don't cover brush pressure enough. I mean, like, we cover it on Heart Party a lot, but you don't cover it enough in art school because being able to press lightly or heavily, and it affects your materials. It affects how it impacts the canvas. So that's why a lot of times I'll talk about how hard we're pressing in or not, because it's that important. And if you're really pressing down very hard, you can push the paint up in. If you can soak out a lot of stuff with like alcohol and other things, not like drinking alcohol, like rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to start putting some drama. Let me get the up close cam really on this. I'm just going to start thinking about some drama that I could have here. What am I don't know. So
you're a little off the camera there.
I'm a little off the camera.
A little bit down so we can see some more of that.
Little dramas. Just thinking. Little dramas. Dramas. So you're just saying dramas and doing brush strokes. I am, but guess what? At the end of this, you'll be like, oh, dramas. And you'll be on your canvas going, dramas. Little moments of drama. So I'm pulling this out along here and then very lightly pulling down. And if you can see this, let me really zoom in on what's actually happening here.
That's so zoomed in.
It's so zoomed in, but it's telling you something, right? See how the light brush pressure has pulled down these little imperfect dancing across the tooth of the canvas things, right? I'm going to come here and just do some drama off this way. Dramas. See? Isn't that beautiful? Well, I feel it's beautiful. Is what I like, and that's how I start to get this sort of in there. I'm starting to tell a story here, and I'm excited about it, and maybe get some bright Quinn in this.
So I'm gonna try this. So I believe it's Monica's House of Photos, but there's no A between the C and the S, so I'm not sure it's Monica's.
Hi, Monica.
Or I think maybe it's Monica's.
So I'm dusting one of these down here. I'm gonna put a little bit right here. I'm trying to put colors that are very strong right in that action space.
So I believe that Monix has a couple of little brushes painting along with us, because she says that the girls are loving this, and they said
Are you loving this?
They said to tell Miss Cinnamon that they're sipping hot chocolate as they paint and having so much fun.
I'm having fresh squeezed orange juice. Let's sippy sippy.
Sippy sippy.
I'm having fun too. Don't let them ever take the fun out of your art.
No, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to put... where'd it go?
There we go. So I'm pulling this. Now I'm thinking I need to just do... Because I had another little focal point here. So I'm going to just do a little bit of this here.
That's for my little brushes up there. I put a special lower thirds on for them.
Aw, bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. So we're just doing abstract. Abstract is a harder painting style to teach because it just requires you to find your own self within the painting. But sometimes without the structure to hang that vision on, the painting just gets crazy. It's crazy. And it's so confusing because they'll be like, this woman is throwing paint. I'm not trying to start nothing with the billionaire, but the lady just throws paint. She uses a Learjet to launch her paint.
I think your brushes are trying to squeeze into the shot there. You're going to have to adjust your close-up camera.
I'm going to have to adjust my close-up camera?
See, look at that. Your brushes are trying to get in on the action.
Okay, they can get in. They've all failed me, so they're over there in the cup of you failed me.
Decorative brushes.
I have a lot of brushes that go decorative on me where I'm like, you have failed me. I'm like a villain. You know, the villains like have henchmen and they just put them in timeout. These brushes have been my henchmen and they're in timeout. So I'm going to take a little of the Phthalo Blue over to the Quinn.
Oh, she has a really cool name. And I know you'll know how to pronounce this because it's the Egyptian. It's Bastet or Bastet. The name of the cat god worshipped by the Egyptians.
Oh, dude, Google it.
No, she's trying to help me pronounce
Thank
it.
you.
So I was like, oh, cool.
So I've taken my Phthalo and my Quinn, and I made this really wonderful dark purple. You could use your dog's name purple.
Sorry, I'm interjecting random comments from the peanut gallery.
And I'm just adding some of this here into the space where we're talking about our drama. Very light brush pressure with all these little colors of paint that I'm weaving in. The other thing about abstract paint is a lot like your paint swatches. Take the time to slow down and feel your painting. I've got more white on the edge of my brush, and I've discovered it, and so
Put your close-up camera down.
If you ever are doing something with your brush, especially in abstract, and you'll be like, okay, so see what's happened here is I've got this weird white dot.
Yeah.
So as I'm painting, I notice it, and it's giving me a lighter color mix. So I'm just like, why not take advantage of that?
So Maricha got up out of bed.
Hi, Maricha. How are you doing today? Now, Maricha's very good at abstract art, so hopefully she's thinking I'm doing pretty well.
I'm going to give her a hard time.
You should totally give her a hard time. It's fun to give Maricha a hard time. So I've just taken some white over to my Phthalo Blue. I'll add some of that in there.
And I lost you on the close-up again. You're off.
Yeah, it's just...
You just keep wandering away.
I wander. You're going to wander away. So can you kind of see how this is starting to turn into something?
It's transforming. The little hashes of drama are turning into something.
They're turning into something. Now I'm going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to get some green and some Phthalo Blue. By the way, you could use Phthalo green. I'm going to get some dark green here. And I'm going to just start adding these dabs into this. I want some green dabs in what's going on in my world. Now maybe that I've got this structure, I'm thinking it might be fun to randomize it up again. So I'm having to make a decision here about the energy. Do I want this to be very geometric, or do I want it to be very organic? And I would love to know what the community thinks. Geometric or organic, because we have the choice to go either way. What are they saying?
They are making fun of various pronunciations of things.
Well, then they're going to just get taken on a ride.
And I was just typing in there, go away, silly English kniggets.
So here, I'm going to kind of experiment with maybe doing these more randomized, these dark green strokes, right? If I randomize them, like say...
There's like a whole bunch of organic comments in here.
All right, organic. All right, let's take it organic.
All right.
So if I start to randomize these brush strokes, right? This here just layers into my world. It's going to take on the feeling. I've added some yellow and white.
Oh yeah, it's like a organic, just like fire through
All
here.
right, so let's just get it organic. I'm letting this stuff over here dry, because if I go over it with my yellow here, I'm going to lose a lot. I'm going to take my phthalo to my yellow. Make a bright green. I'm going to lose a lot of my purple, so I don't want to do that yet. And I may dry it, and I may start pulling this in a more organic direction. Hold on a second. Let me dry it.
Okay.
John.
Not enough time this time for a knock-knock joke. I was actually over taking care of something else there.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Are you there? Am I there?
I was taking care of something else, so I didn't have time for a knock-knock joke there.
You didn't have time for the knock-knock joke?
No, I was on the other screen taking care
So
of
look at how I'm randomizing my brush.
Sorry about
Kimberly, it was dry so that paint shows through the green. It's nice layering, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And we always want that. Just want a bright green here. I'm working my colors to find them. And I'm just going loosely, right? Take some colors loosely where you need to take them. Take those colors where you need to take them. Now I'm going to pull this down a little bit. I'm going to get back and look.
You're gonna do your squinty look?
Mm-hmm.
Squinty look? You talk about a squinty look you're doing so they
So
understand?
what it is sometimes when you're up on a piece, you can't see it. You can't see where it's heavy. You can't see where it's not good. And you've got to back up. So I'm going to add some of this light color here because it's just too heavy. And that's what I'm looking for. Where is it just too heavy? Now I'm going to do something completely inappropriate, guys.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
I've got a mister bottle.
Okay.
Now, if you're selling this or doing resell or showing, you should really fill this with airbrush medium.
Mm.
But I'm not. So
what are you doing?
I'm going to instigate a drip.
Oh. Oh. Oh, cool.
You went,
You
wait.
instigated a drip.
I instigated a drip.
What motivated that?
Well, Kimberly Kirk, who's just gotten married, she posted up a floral painting, right? And she had drips. And I thought that was really pretty, and we're kind of going that direction, right? And I'm going to pull out some of my... Wait, what? I'm here on my orange. What's wrong?
I'm going to show you. The kids have just been distracted, so I'm going to have to warn you that ma'ams just came by with this.
Oh, no.
I'll show them because there are other...
The canvas is wet, and my wet paint is starting to drip. You show me. Show me. I stop. It's important stuff. Go ahead.
Ma'am just brought me donuts for the kids.
If you're wondering if this was live.
Right, this is very live.
So while my canvas is wet, now why wouldn't I normally want to do this? Why would I normally not want to instigate drips and encourage this type of craziness on my canvas? It's because it does a thing called underbinding. Now I've added a lot of water to this mixture. This is quite fluid, right? And I'm going to just dab this in some places. Now orange and green are contrast, and so sometimes when they get with each other, they'll cancel each other out. And where it's not dripping well, I'm going to hit. Just one mist. Don't get crazy, because it takes very little to lose it. And I'm just going to let it have its drip down. If you're finding it's having trouble getting a drip, you can add some water to your brush and encourage the drip to go. I'm going to switch to my cleaner waters. See how I'm encouraging the drip to go? In my abstract. This thing is like right on there. So this is messy, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Abstract often is. And a little bit out of control. Yes, abstract often is. But the point is because you intentionally put some control here, you're ending up, isn't this piece just starting to just pull together?
Cool. We get the close-up where you can see that drips really nice.
Yeah. Now, what does this mean to you? If you're not selling this in retail, you can use water to do this. And then as long as you don't overuse the water, and it's a balancing act, you can just varnish it with a spray varnish, and then it will hold.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The reason I'm saying don't do it in retail is there's a certain expectation that you provide a quality or a level of paint.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't meet that, you can really upset clients if they're painting flakes. They don't like it.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
So I've added a little my cad orange to my cad red. Am I going to add some water to it?
Is it super cad?
It's super cad. Don't eat it.
Don't.
And I'm going to add some spots of this here and there.
It's hard to see that over there.
Is it? Let's bring the
There
camera
you
over. So I'm just taking advantage of the fact that the canvas is moist. Now, see, this has happened to you probably when you didn't want it to on your canvas. When you were probably like, oh, I don't want that to even happen. I'm going to get my brush wet and encourage a couple drips. I'm gonna ask it to do it for me. Look at that.
So what is airbrush medium?
Airbrush medium, or you could do wet palette spray. What they are is they're fluid mediums that prevent the acrylic paint from breaking down. So even if you thin it to an incredibly watery texture, airbrush medium is just fantastic for this. The paint will really stick. Tapping it to speed it along. You could also chase it with your hairdryer. So I don't know if anybody's seen these on Pinterest. Anybody like these on Pinterest? We're like, oh, I love those on Pinterest. But that's how those are done, but you know, with better mediums. I'm thinning this out a bit. I don't know where John went. So I see a little pink spot here I want to enforce. So I'm going to add this guy to it. And I'm thinking I need some more here.
I apologize. I had a delivery come.
The donut delivery?
No. There's a FedEx guy.
Oh.
It's just been thing after thing. He was like, I want you to sign for this crushed package. I was like, no.
I hope it's not my paint.
It was a big Amazon box that got sent back because it was broken open.
Oh, no.
Clearly, it was missing stuff out of the box, too. So I was like, nah.
Was that my paint?
I don't know. It was broken and open, so I'm sorry if it was.
So you sent it back?
Yeah, it clearly had fallen out of the box. I mean, it was a broken and open box. So
I've added some white there. How are we enjoying that? Are we feeling this is adventurous, or are we thinking this Saturday has gone off the rails?
So everyone's here pretty much enjoying it. Now, there was a quick question I saw come up
Look
here.
at that. Doesn't that feel like a floral now?
It really does.
Isn't that crazy? It would be really hard to know how to break that down yourself
Now,
if you didn't already know.
Is airbrush medium similar to flow medium?
No.
It's not.
No, the flow medium is a good medium. Any of the products that they give you to control your paint are basically designed to prevent the paint from breaking down as you do these techniques. But like, say, glazing medium. Seems like it would work in this, but let me tell you, it would not. I have messed around, like a lot of times artists like myself will mess around with the limits of a medium or a gel, which is why we're going to be covering this in ArtQuest. And because the manufacturer will very clearly on its website say it will do this and it will do this, and we have tested in the lab to do this.
Yeah.
If you choose to do something else, we're not responsible for the results. If it bursts into flames, they're not responsible. If all the paint falls off your canvas, they're not responsible. But the thing is artists, on occasion, are we going to get in there and mess with stuff? Yeah, we totally are. We totally are going to get in there and mess with stuff. So I'm really liking that. I'm liking the balance of that. How are we feeling about that? I think the strongest on there, I'm really liking the white, and I feel like I need more of that. Looking
Let's
at
get
it.
some more.
I'm thinking I need more. Now, I'm having this interesting conundrum of, I put a lot of paint up so you guys can see it, and I'm running out of space on my canvas. And I feel like white flowers would be really enjoyable, so I'm going to get
You're gonna
my
disappear off
last
my
clean.
cameras.
I'm going to get my last clean water.
I can get you more.
I have my number 4, maybe. I'm thinking maybe my number. Well, that might not hold enough water. This is my Ebony Splendor by Creative Mark. Number 12. It's about a 1/2 inch. And it's a softer bristle, so I'm going to see if I can pull some more paint into it. We'll see what it does. I'm thinning the white.
So it's good to have a lot of different brushes that different feelings.
Yeah, don't feel bad if you've got a brush and you're like, wow, that thinned out. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, we need some white, don't we? So this is what you're doing. You'll be going along and be like, oh, yeah, I need some white. Because the white is such a contrast in value from everything around it that it really enforces oh, good. We were a little shy on our drips over here, and we needed some stuff going on, didn't we?
So is that
These drippy florals are fun to do all day. I so appreciated Kimberly Kirk for the suggestion. You know, I've got my structure that got my little roadmap planned here.
people are spying your orange juice over there?
It's just orange juice today.
She was wanting to know if that was a mimosa or if it's just orange juice.
It's just orange juice today. I've been really craving fresh squeezed orange juice, so I grabbed some from the store.
You and all the little brushes are having orange juice today.
We are. I keep not using. I overblued it.
You overblued it?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it in here.
You
'Cause I
just
want
keep on-
just a little bit of that happening.
That was a lot of work for a dot.
You know what? Welcome to abstract. A lot of work, one dot. That's why abstract artists are a little punchy. Because people are like, that looks easy. And they're like, oh. So I'm going to do something kind of radical here as I'm feeling expressive. I've got this brush loaded up with that wet paint. You guys can see it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the whack, whack. Whack,
Ooh, yeah.
whack.
Now, Daniel, who's one of our favorite Jerry's Artorama
Oh, yeah.
managers, he is a awesome abstract painter.
He is.
And
He makes me want to switch to Michael Harding oils, even though I shouldn't want to switch to Michael Harding oils because I love my acrylics.
and he does it big.
Yeah, he does them big.
He does it real
If
big.
you were to do this big, you'd feel really good about this piece.
Yeah, abstracts seem to be better, bigger. It's like it's
Yeah.
more emotional space to express your thought.
It is.
That's really cool.
Isn't that looking
Yeah,
lovely?
you can see the splatters a little on the up close camera a
It's
little
all
bit.
over my face.
Byproduct.
So what are you guys thinking about this? Does this remind you of those wonderful pins of the drippy florals that you're seeing all over Pinterest? I feel like it does. Like it covers that sort of emotional sentiment. Is it messy? Yes. Yes, it is.
Now, your water flow is a combination of how wet you've had the canvas and your wetness in the brush.
So I have this mister.
Okay.
All right. So tips would be a terrible mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If I'm to get right on this and go, it's going to overwet the canvas and it's going to be a problem. Getting back and doing a little bit of misting until you see it start to go, that's your sweet spot. Giving yourself space where you can be messy and it's not going to be important how that works out, that's also your sweet spot.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, I want that to go more, one spray. See, now look what it's doing.
Oh, yeah.
One spray. And then the drip goes.
Now, when you're done, is it a good idea to varnish this?
Yeah. So I would be inclined over a brush varnish because we have if you have used the free flow agent from your tap, also known as water, you have definitely technically underbound the paint. In other words, I have interfered with the polymer medium enough where I have done that. So here's my experience. I really haven't had a problem with a really good paint flaking off, but it can happen. A spray varnish, which I can't do. John does it for me. I only can't do it because I'm allergic to we think it's the propellant?
Yeah, the Excel, yeah.
Yeah, I get this thing. I start to pass out. It's crazy. It's an issue for me. Where, I'm just like, I'm not myself.
Mm-hmm. So, well, I'd say, so IMP McCulley.
Yeah.
McCahey. Here we go. Says she was really struggling with abstract. So to say to Cinnamon, thank you. And so thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us.
Thank you for covering abstracts with us, because it's like they're one of those things that look simple, but it's kind of challenging, and they're really actually fun.
Yeah.
We won't cover them all the time, but we'll every once in a while dip into the abstract pile. Maybe we'll do some splatter. Maybe we'll do some, I know Maricha did a lot of suggestions. She wanted some mid-century modern abstracts. Show you how to have a regimented, it's very clean. It's very European. The lines are taped and tight and like where it's just shape on shape.
Mm-hmm.
We'll show you that. But we've done one of these florals. I didn't know I was totally doing one of the florals today, but we did. So we'll put it on the thumbnail and people will be like, I wonder what it's going to be like in the replay.
Yeah, can you ask one more technical question
Yes.
before we go? Okay,
oh, I can. Yeah, technical questions till the cows come home.
Okay, so...
And we have no cows, so.
But until the dragons come home then.
Till the dragons come home.
So how can you help combat the chaotic brushstrokes? Somebody's having very... They're making repetition in their brushstrokes, and they're wanting to create more chaos and more randomness, but they're having trouble. What do you suggest for that?
It's so challenging, too, and I understand it. And you know what? Just one thing, no, every artist is challenged by this. Every artist, because you want to make a pattern. Your brain wants to make a pattern, and how do you break up that pattern, right? And one of the things that you can do if you think you're getting a pattern is take a picture of it with your phone and look at it. Sometimes it can be easier to see your painting clearly through your phone, or hold it up to a mirror and look at it. You can do a thing like, how I sort of put in the space here before I started doing the crazy painting. Because if I just painted this crazy first, right, it could get away from me really fast. But creating like a lattice work, a structure, an idea of what's here, and then letting it get crazy over it, it helped me have control. So if you can say, all right, I know I want it to do this kind of thing. And the other really goofy tip I have, it's not scientific, it's, not approved by any education agency, is to imagine I'm Jackie Chan. And I get into my inner drunken monkey.
Right. I love that you Jackie Chan a picture.
I do, and I say Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan. Because Jackie Chan doesn't ever make a straight line. That's the whole foundation for Drunken Monkey, right? The Monkey King and all that craziness. That's about being unpredictable and randomizing what you're doing. I don't know any martial arts, so that was not a demo. but I watch a lot of martial arts, and so that was that. So the thing is,
you feel Drunken Monkey akin.
We're Drunken Monkey adjacent. I'm drunk and I'm a big goofy monkey. Does that count? Not today. I'm not any of those things. So yeah, just try to break it up and try to have fun with it. Things don't have to be perfect. You're just in a journey. And if saying Jackie Chan helps you, that's what helped me break through my structural issues where I wanted to clone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so crazy, because you'll think you're not cloning, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, I totally cloned.
Yeah.
Those rocks are all cloned. And you were really focusing on it. So try to be know that it's happening and don't be too hard on yourself. Jackie Chan is honestly my best inner tip, but I don't know how effective it is for anybody else. I'm liking this, guys.
All right, so last question before we go.
I like it. Do we like it or do we not like it? I don't know. It was a good experiment
There's
today.
a lot of people who really appreciated you kind of going over abstracts because it's a difficult thing, and just having some tools to kind of approach it.
Well, you can see how quick it can get muddy on you.
Yeah.
You can get muddy on you really quick. That's where those color charts come in because you know that yellow and purple make gray.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have some orange coming by some purple and you're putting orange over the purple, you're going to get a brownish color.
Yeah. So we have like, just so you know, I know you're not able to see this, but we've had like 200 people out here hanging out with us. And
I hope to see some abstracts. I hope some of you will be like, get your spray. Now remember the tips in the spray bottle. Don't overspray. I know sometimes I say that and it still happens. Don't feel bad if it does. Just, it's, if it doesn't work for you the first time, try a couple times. Don't overspray and try to have control over the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
This is very therapeutic, by the way, if you have a chaotic life. Because sometimes these types of abstract expressionism, which is what we ended up doing here. We didn't know we were going to do it, but we did abstract expressionism. Abstract expressionism is about often having control in the chaos.
Yeah, and doing like several of them, you have to do a few before you get your hang of it.
Yeah, and once you get the technique down, like once you're like, I got the thirds, you can practice where you put your focus, right? And you can, try all different kinds of things, practice with your color story. We did this crazy color story because it was sort of what, a suit,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I would love to see all of your guys' abstracts. Yeah. So, go look out your back window, kind of squint your eyes, find something cool to look at, and paint it.
And honestly, didn't pre-design this in any way. This was viewer directed. You guys helped me paint it, so thank you.
Yeah,
we're gonna do viewer mail today, aren't we?
Yes, that was the other thing we were talking about. Is you're gonna run out and grab the last of the post office box.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cuddle some crazy kids.
We'll be back in 30.
Yeah, and then but you'll put it up on the schedule. So
I'll put it up on the schedule.
Yeah, we'll get that back up on the schedule. I know our schedule's a little empty
So if you guys send me some mail, you want to see some viewer mail, and also I got a gift. Thanks to you from Simply Simmons.
We'll open that up.
So if you want to see what they sent me, because y'all are awesome.
Yep, we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it.
All right. So is that our plan here?
I think that's our plan. Hopefully you guys like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'm actually really kind of happy with it. Now I kind of want to do a big one on purpose.
I love it. Well, you do. I love all your big abstracts too.
A big one on purpose. I'll see you guys at the easel really soon.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.